Whoa there, Space Cowboy. Brokeback Bebop is a podcast with explicit content intended only for mature bounty hunters. Listener discretion is advised. Listen to all 40 steamy sessions of the show right now by supporting Brokeback Bebop at patreon.com/can'tdisappointpodcast.
I think it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay.
1, 2, 3, let's jam.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, let's jam. Oh, fuck. 3, 2, 1, let's jam. That's not the first time
though.
I've done that either.
I like it.
I'll keep it all. I always keep the whole thing.
I like it.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another week of Brokeback Bebop. We're
Brokeback
back
Bebop!
and broker-backed than ever. I'm
My
Zach.
backers. My backers. Hi, I'm Steven. I'm backer broken.
And welcome to another week of the show. Let's pull the curtain back for everyone. This is the third podcast we've recorded today together. That's not a joke. That's true.
It's not a joke at all.
At this point,
Well, wait,
we've been together
isn't it
just
the
over
fourth?
5 hours.
Do you count pre-show?
Not really, but kind of. I mean, it's as long as this is.
Yeah.
This
it's
is the fourth
bit of
program we've
content.
done today. We've been together for 5 hours.
Hey, that's
So
the
just letting
correct
you know
number
where we're
this
at.
time.
That is the right hour this time. Jesus. I'm still very glad to be here, but there's absolutely no, wow, look at you, Stephen Baker. I know you. I have memorized the curves and textures of your face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like when I die on my deathbed, not by any thought of my own, I'm going to close my eyes and see your face, because literally I've probably spent more time looking directly at your face than anyone else ever. Well, I mean, like my partner, but not like this. I don't watch them while they talk like this.
Well, and specifically this angle at my face, because I always put my webcam here
Yeah.
and I look at you there.
So anyway,
I'm painfully aware of every inch of the room that you're in, Zach. I know what every nook and cranny, every decorative item,
or lack thereof.
There's some things. I really like the lean.
I'm going to move the stuff around soon. I keep meaning to, but then I never do.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, now you see where we're at right now, and I hope that you join us at this level as we talk about another episode of Cowboy Bebop. Might I say, a quite good episode of Cowboy Bebop. One I'm excited to
Yeah, I
dive
think
into.
so. We just talked last time about how it was like a little bit more of a lighthearted episode that still gave us some story. This is not lighthearted.
Not that.
No.
However, it's in a different way than the Spike episodes.
Yeah. Well,
And I kinda like
we
this
we
better.
talked about, this is the first episode where we've gotten a mature content warning.
That's true. And I think it is, I kind of made
It's
it
gotta be
as
because
a
of the
joke
blood
when
splatter.
we were watching, but there's one scene that has some pretty intense blood splatter and then some really cool, I don't think it makes physics sense, but the like droplets of blood like in the sub-gravity kind of floating around.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Looks
cool.
super cool.
Well, yeah, we're talking about session 16 of Cowboy Bebop. After this, we've just got 10 more official episodes of the original run of the show.
Yeah.
This is going by so fast. This one, Black Dog Serenade, was storyboarded by, and I'm going to fuck this name up. This is a tough one. Shigeyasu.
Ooh, nice.
It's Shigeyyasu.
You nailed it.
Shigeyasu.
Nice.
But that's a tough one.
That's a tricky one.
Yamauchi.
Yamauchi?
It's Yamaguchi without a G. It's Yamauchi.
Yamauchi.
Shigeyasu Yamauchi.
That's a hell of a name.
I like it.
Let's
I just
call him
don't know
Shiggy
quite how to say it.
Yams for short.
Shiggy Yams for short. Somewhere if they're still alive somewhere, they just had like an aneurysm and died. They're like, don't say that. Don't say that. It was directed by Ikuro Sato and it was written by Michiko Yokote. The original, I found this interesting. Okay, so on the Wikipedia page, there's usually a Japanese air date from 97 or
98 right
from
now,
98. Then there's a second Japanese air date on a different network from 99.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the US one from 2000, 2001.
Yeah.
So from this point forward, that first date, the earliest dates, what I've been reading for Japan, from this point forward, most of those dates aren't said. Like they're
Oh.
missing. Like the dates are unknown. So it went on to air on the other network in like February of 1990.
So we skipped my goddamn birthday. I was literally 14
So I don't know
days,
the network
or
that it first
16.
aired on or whatever. We don't know when this episode aired exactly, but in the U.S. it first
Unprofessional
aired
bullshit.
on October 22nd, 2001.
Wow.
And you
Happy
got any
Halloween.
trivia? I've got just 2.
I have 2 today.
Pretty easy.
Why don't you go first, Zach?
Yeah, okay. My first one, what is the champagne in the opening of the episode?
That was my first question.
Really?
Dom Perignon. Yeah.
Damn. So give me your other one.
How long ago did Jet's old partner give up smoking?
That's my other question.
Aw.
We had the
Babe.
same 2 exact questions, 10 days.
Cute. Can you tell we spent the last 5 hours together?
I certainly can.
That's all
and
it
I'm
takes.
starting to think they probably can too. Well, we've blown through the beginning of this so fast, so I want to pause a second before we move on to the next segment. And I wanted to talk. I know that there have been times in the past where we have shared cigarettes together. Mm-hmm. Have you ever been in a position where you've had to quit smoking? Probably not, right?
No, because even, like, I've never been in a position where... Because for a while, I had never bought my own cigarettes.
Because, like, quitting smoking is kind of romanticized.
Yeah, it is. And maybe if I, like, smoked... And because there was a time where I probably smoked a cigarette every day, at least one. I got really into Lucky Strikes. I really liked those.
They were nasty.
Yeah, they're just...
They made you feel like you
them.
were a character in a movie.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And when I was working at a grocery store and not really excited about my life, it kind of fit my vibe at the time. And so I would smoke those on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But literally, I just, like, stopped doing it. Like, it wasn't, like, hard. Like, I wasn't, like, itching for one. But I think part of it is because, for me, I used smoking a lot of the time as an alternative to smoking weed.
Yeah.
And
So it didn't leave you wanting a cigarette. It left you wanting to smoke some weed.
yeah.
I kind of did the same, or just like a social thing, or also just
Yeah.
same with smoking weed. I like the process of rolling it
Uh-huh.
and of lighting it. It's the same with the cigarette. I like the process of, okay, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to hang out on the patio for a little bit, and I'm going to smoke a cigarette. I smoked more than
Yeah.
you did. I was like buying packs, but I was never smoking a pack a day. A pack would last me like a week, or like at worst like 3 days. But I still remember I kind of... At the same, one day was just like, I'm done, and I threw it away. I never had to, like, struggle with it. But, secondly, you talking about smoking Lucky Strikes 2 seconds into that, I was like, oh,
Just
yeah.
made you're like, ah.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
I
anytime
used to smoke Black and Milds.
Yeah. Cheyennes.
Or, like, that's, okay, the first thing I ever smoked was a Cheyenne. That's what
Shy Guys.
got me into them. I didn't call them that, but I liked the Cheyennes. I like the vanilla ones, I think, were, like, yummy.
I don't know.
But I don't like
episode made me think about
the
quitting
taste
smoking.
in my mouth
Of, like, that
when
kind
I've
of
been
smoke.
smoking too much.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
like...
afterwards. I don't like the, like, hour and a half later.
Whenever I'm offered a cigarette, I'll always be like, yeah, I'm going to try it, and then I'm going to want one. Then I'll try it and hit it once and be like, no, I'm good. I don't like the way it makes my throat feel. I don't like the way it makes my fingers feel. I don't like the way it makes my hands smell.
Yeah, the hand smells big for me.
But
like,
I also kind of do like it.
I like the burn.
Yeah.
So, kids, the message today is go out to
pick
your
up a
local
pack.
drugstore, grab a pack of
This
cigarettes,
episode
give
brought
them
to
a
you
try.
by Lucky Strikes. Lucky Strikes. Recommended
Plays
by 9
ad
out of
from
10
Joe Camel.
juvenile doctors.
You know, the Surgeon General says...
Don't be a bitch.
Yeah.
Don't be a pussy.
I hear that anyone who fucks smokes cigarettes.
Yeah, we're to the point where they literally can't advertise cigarettes anywhere anymore, so they're coming to our podcast to be able
They
to
said,
do
please, guys.
it. Okay, why don't we move on?
Yeah.
Which means it's your turn to host the show.
The next segment we're going to get to, I know how this works. We're going to find out, let me say it's in my most gruff voice.
Yeah.
You ready? Did Zach comprehend the episode this week?
It had shades of Will Arnett.
Oh, I Did Zach make me? No. For some reason in my head, I was thinking of Ben Stiller's line in Dodgeball, nobody makes me bleed my own blood. But then I was trying to do the bit, but then they fused. So I said, did Zach make me? And then I stopped.
Oh, he did. Oh, he did.
We're going to find out if Zach comprehended this week's episode. This one's a pretty, deep, dark dive into Jet's big black throbbing arm.
Nope.
How are you feeling about this one, Zach?
I don't feel anything anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. Let me get the timer ready.
Okay. Let me, Daddy's got to perform. I got to put on that show. I got to take a couple uppers so I can dance for the businessmen. All right.
We want Daddy to put on a show.
A couple of barbiturates. Somewhere over the rainbow.
You said you wanted on. I am on.
Yeah.
Okay. I just destroyed my volume.
You there, boy. Where
A
can
show
Daddy get
you
some
want?
speed? All right.
Okay. 20 seconds on the clock.
I'm starting to think that Scrooge bit is just a defense mechanism when I'm about to have to do this. It's a way to stretch it out a little bit.
I like it. It's working for me.
Yeah, I know. That's why. That's why
You found your audience.
Yeah.
Okay, on go. 3,
Yeah.
2, 1, go.
Jet gets a call from his previous partner about someone they tried to arrest, and the man who shot Jet's arm off has taken over a plane, and they've got to find him and put an end to it at once. But when they finally do, when they catch him and Jet has to confront him, he finds out that his partner has been in on it for all these years, and that he tries to kill Jet, and he kills the bad guy.
You know what, Zach? You did a pretty damn
it was okay.
good job. I thought it
Yeah.
was pretty good.
Yeah.
You didn't get anything about the prison break.
Nope.
No syndicate connections.
Nope.
But you did get pretty much the whole plot line about Jet and his partner.
Yep.
The jury should not exclude the bit about the
Are you
bad
about
guy
to
dying.
let me bleed my own grade?
Zach, I'm going to give you... I didn't like that one as much as I liked last time.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you a B. Solid B.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it was good.
That
though.
one was very off the seat of my pants, but
Yeah,
I
I
got
like
a decent
that.
amount of it out.
That got you bonus points. I like your seat.
You like my seat?
I like your seat.
Yeah.
Pants
Well,
or
okay,
not.
then let me start by saying something that maybe I don't fully comprehend about the episode, okay? So I followed the actions and the events, but the motivations of his partner, first of all, I like that the villain's name is literally You Die. His name's You Die. It's You
great.
Die.
It's great.
So why is that villain with or against the Syndicate? Is that why he killed him?
Is with the syndicate.
Yeah. So then why did the police partner who is also with the Syndicate kill him?
Pretty much the entire police force other than Jet was
Yeah.
on the payroll of the syndicate.
Okay.
And because Jet was making things difficult, actually being a
I'm talking about at the end of the episode, right?
forever and always. I'm talking
Okay.
about
Okay.
way back when.
Sure. Right.
Oh, what are his motivations now?
Why
for
does he
making-
kill Udai if he's with the Syndicate?
Well, he's not with them anymore. The reason why the old partner had Jet go find him is because the old partner wanted to kill him because
Okay.
he was worried that he would talk because he had just escaped prison and now he's free
Okay.
and he had to silence him
Right.
before he
and
could
he
talk.
did what Jet wanted to be done, but the motivations were wrong. It was so he wouldn't get in trouble.
Exactly.
I don't know. I guess I do get it now. I did catch that. I don't know. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I remembered
Well,
it
because
as I was
I also
talking
brought
to you
up
about
as
it.
we were watching the episode, it would be interesting to know how Udai got to jail. I almost wrote in my head canon that in the past when Jet got shot, and what happened exactly there? Did some other officers get killed?
No, it was just Jet and his partner that were there.
It was just so nobody did they make it look like his partner got shot or something?
I don't know. I think they made it look like it was a setup, like Udai had set them up, and so Jet
because he knew
just
that it was a
ended up in
setup,
a
but
trap.
didn't know that his partner
because
was
the
in on
partner
it
was going around
until
back
the end of this
to get
episode.
in. Yeah,
Right.
So
I
Jet
like
had
in my
fire
head
rained
canon
upon him.
thinking that Udai still went to jail then, that Jet got shot and was still able to bring him in anyway, but then left the force because of the trauma that he saw that day or of being shot like that. Because I don't know, why is Fat, is that his name? Fat? Why is he acting now on him being released from jail? Why didn't he try to take Udai out like then?
That's fair. Well, at the time they were still both working for the syndicate.
Yeah, okay. It's a little jumbled.
You're not wrong to be.
I get
to, like,
it,
see
but
how convoluted
trying
it
to
is.
keep track of all the motivations and all the
Yeah.
interconnections is a lot for me.
It is.
Maybe that's why I've never tried to watch The Godfather.
Fredo.
So let's talk. What did we learn in this week's episode that we did not know before and that we're going to need to know for the rest of the series?
It's important to know that Jet struggles with his own humanity. You know, he doesn't want to lose that.
It's like Buster. Well, what do you expect, mother? I'm half machine.
It's the same.
Yeah.
You know, Jet is like, you know, I want to keep the parts of me that are human that I have. I know I can get my nerve damage stuff fixed and repaired, but like this is a reminder for me of what happened. This is like keeps me who I am, you know. I think just the fact that all cops are bad. Syndicate's pocket. The Syndicate has huge reaches, and the fact that Spike was so big in the Syndicate shows how dangerous a guy Spike really is. I think just paints to that more how big it stretches, and those are kind of the big ones for this episode. I like that we get to see Jet
as a younger man.
Trenchcoat Jet looks really cool, but even Jet maybe not doing the right thing. Like, he's not working with the police right now. He's going after the guy who shot his arm with, plans to probably kill him.
And it's not because of a bounty.
And it's not because of a bounty.
I mean, he seems like the type of person that probably would have a bounty, but they don't even mention that.
No.
You're right. In this show, we live in such a world where...
We live in a society...
Is there any right and wrong? Is there anything wrong with going after the guy who shot your arm off? Is that any different than going after someone to make a little money? You know what I mean?
Well, normally when they're doing their bounty jobs, they're not trying to kill people. They just end up dying all the time.
I guess
they're just not very good at their job.
You know, I really like this episode. I liked it. This is the second time I've watched it. I like it a lot more this time.
It's cool.
Jet's just such an interesting character. I do think that this episode, once and for all, proves that canon Jet Black is not black.
He is.
This is the first episode that, at least that I remember, that there are prominent black characters, and Jet doesn't look any shade of black.
Just because he's a lighter complexion does not mean he is not a black man.
But I'm saying it's not a lighter complexion, it's a white complexion.
Ever heard of albinism, Zachary?
So what you're saying is if all of a sudden, racism, trigger warning, I guess, if all of a sudden I started saying, I'm voiced by a black guy, I have a lighter skin, don't tread on me. You're saying that everyone would be like, yeah, that's what's up. Jet is white, that's the canon. Thank you, we'll see you next week.
We'll let bygones be bygones.
Because there are literal black people in this episode, and they're awesome. It's kind of maybe a little sad that they're all bad guys, but I think Uday is a really cool
Udai's
villain.
cool as fuck.
It almost bummed me out that he got wiped out so bad. I almost like him way more than I like Vicious as a main villain. I think he's cool.
I like Uday a lot. I love that scene is so badass when like the guy points the gun at him and he very quickly like shoots a knife out of his like sleeve that he just must have there all the fucking time because he's a badass.
The unplausible floating blood is really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I like the prison break scene at the beginning. It's pretty awesome. Or I guess not necessarily prison break, but they took over the prison shit.
Yeah, I never watched Prison Break.
I watched the first like season or and a half or so. It's fine.
Yeah.
Watch Orange is the New Black instead, I guess.
Even then, don't.
Yeah.
Don't watch that
Actually,
either.
yeah, don't watch that. I wasted a lot of time watching that show.
Look,
I didn't
Steven,
watch the ending.
I feel like we can really begin to feel that we're at the last 10-minute stretch of our 5-hour recording spree. But we've got to talk more about this episode.
Well, let's
I feel
talk
like there's
about
a lot to talk about.
Something that is pretty like heavy is Jet knew that he was going on a mission with someone who had bested him before. He like told Ed, he's
mission.
like, hey, I might not be back.
Yeah.
Like, water my
Ed
plants.
is cute in this episode, being told to water the plants, which is the simplest of tasks, but instead Ed like just sprays it all over the place. That shot at first, I didn't realize that's what Ed was doing. I thought Ed was just spraying iron with the hose and dancing around.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is this kid doing? And then when Ed almost gets like Charlie Brown face, looking up at Spike and saying something like, Jet's never coming back again, ever. And then, like, just goes off and nobody says anything about it. Which, at this point, who are we surprised that someone's leaving the ship and says, okay, bye forever? It's like Michael Bluth leaving the family. I'll just keep referencing Arrested
we know we're going to be
episode.
back.
Pack your things, George Michael. We're leaving this family. We're never coming back. It's literally Jet's ship. They'll be back.
Yeah, but I like that Jet He's the black dog. The black dog that once he bites, he never lets go. And he's, to him, the fact that this guy's walking free is a loss.
And he's a cop.
Yeah.
Well, I'm starting to get to the point in the show. I've gotten a few small hints at perhaps perhaps a character that doesn't make it out alive at the end of the show. And I'm not surprised to see that because I know it's only 26 episodes and they have no reason not to break the hearts of everybody with stuff like that. But now that we're getting to like the last 10 episodes of the show, in situations like this where Jet says I'm leaving and I don't know if I'm going to come back, I don't know what happens at the end of this show. I know that there's not another season after the 26 episodes. I'm starting to think, well, we didn't meet Ed till episode 9. Maybe Jet can die in episode 15. I'm starting to actually wonder what the fate of some of these characters are going to be and what's going to lead us to the end.
Well, and I think it's kind of, whether it's intentional or not, which I like to think that maybe it is, as the crew starts to actually care more about the well-being of one another, we start to as well. When we're first introduced, we're like, okay, Spike's cool. He and Jet are like the team. They're the duo. Awesome. They're like, okay, well, yeah, this girl's here now. Faye's around. Okay, they have a kid, I guess. And then now we're like, oh, well, precious little Ed. Or like, oh, Faye actually, like, I get why she's hurt and broken the way she is. Oh wow, Jet like
honestly now you worry with Faye if she didn't end up stuck in a family kind of knit group like this. Would she be able to survive on her own? She doesn't really know this world completely yet. She can fight, she can put up a fight, but I don't know. I really worry for her. Like I think they're it's good that they've found each other.
It is, because as tough an exterior as Faye puts on, she's very vulnerable. And she gets in positions where she tries to go off on her own and ends up through
every time rescued.
Yeah. So, I mean, they need each other, and, we don't want to see anything happen to any of them, but at the same time, they're all people who haven't been together forever and probably won't be together forever. And it's kind of a very real look at, sometimes, Zach, we have a new crew member board our ship, and sometimes they're with us for a week, sometimes they're with us for years, but we all got to go after that great big bounty in the casino.
Yeah, eventually, you're going to leave to start some sporting company and your wife's going to get hit on by a boom mic guy. Yeah. And in the show, everyone's going to have to leave the office and you can't just work at the office for forever.
You can't work at the office for forever.
What are we going to we've got 6 minutes left. What do you want to talk about? Is there any music that stands out to you in this episode? It's a little quiet.
It's very jazzy, moments. Very quiet. They let the action,
a few repeated musical beats that we've heard before.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. I like the music in this episode, but there's not one particular song that jumps out to me too much. I really want to talk about the fight scene between Jet and Uday. I think it's really intense and really strong. You feel
the hand-to-hand combat. It really feels like people that can beat up each other instead of weird space guns or whatever.
Or whereas when Spike fights, Spike is very much a finesse fighter, whereas Jet and Uday are just they have speed, they have finesse, but they're just beating, they're trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
They're not trying to knock the guy out so you can arrest him. They're not trying to get away. They're this is one of us is not going to walk out of this fight alive, and you feel that weight in the gravity. It does feel very raw,
and it does feel, for a show that the fight choreography is like dancing to the jazz. There's none of that in this. There's no romance really to it. It's just primal.
Which is very intentional, I'm sure. And even down to the reddish lighting that they're fighting in because they're on a spaceship that's being taken over. It's been taken over, it's not the same as some of the really glorious, really pretty fights that we get in outer space where, there's a exciting riff playing and they're doing front flips in zero gravity or doing a fight spaceship fight where they're shooting 1,000 rounds at each other. This is just two guys fighting to the death. That shit's primal. It's awesome.
How do you feel this episode compares to the other Jet episode, the more love story Jet episode? Do you like this one better? Do you like this one less? I think they're kind of comparable, but I might like the other one a little better.
I like Ganymede Elegy more.
I wish this episode made more a meal out of whether or not Jet's making the right decision.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like they kind of do in the other one. The emotional weight of it all. I feel like there's less of that in this one. Nobody even knows really what Jet's going off to do.
Totally. They just know that he like might not be back.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one, it was more a sense of like Spike's coming to like help, like they're like a team, you know?
Or like he's kicked off the ship for a reason.
Yeah.
He's leaving and might not come back.
Exactly. I think I like this one a lot though. I really like the fight better in this one, but I like the chase and the build up and the backstory a
All
little
of the
more in
beautiful
the other one.
animation above water in Ganymede Elegy 2. That's a good one. That's one of my tops so far.
That's a great one.
Well, let's go ahead and do our Captain of the Bebop, and then maybe talk a little bit, maybe if you want to set me up some expectations for the rest of the series as we're starting to get to like the pre-end game. As for this episode, I'm going to give it to Udai.
Yeah, Udai's fucking awesome, right?
It's close with Jet, but Udai is a really menacing character.
Yeah.
Who, from the first time you see him, you're like, what's this guy's deal? He seems dangerous.
Yeah.
And he is, and it's fun. I like him a lot.
His design is super awesome. I think his whole vibe just like is menacing. It's almost like the bad guy fight version of like a Gus Fring type character, you know, someone who
who just
their
so
whole
silently
is
will
terrifying.
grab a box cutter, go slit someone's throat, and then like take the jacket off and fix his suit without like flinching or saying a word.
Exactly. For me, I had Udai as well. I think he's like such a cool villain. I agree that like I would rather see more Udai episodes a lot of the time than more like direct vicious stuff, you know?
Yeah, I feel like him being tied in with Jet's past, they could have done more with him than just to have killed him.
Yeah.
Like how there's going to be another episode of Faye's story. I would have watched another episode of this story of Fat and Udai and
for
Jet.
sure.
It wrapped up a little fast, but that's how the show is sometimes, and that's okay.
Yeah. So talking about what's coming up soon, we get some more, like, the next episode is a really fun one. It's more of like an Ed and Ein adventure heavy episode, and it has to do with like psychedelic mushrooms and like really like funky, and I mean funk, like Parliament type style, like funkadelic, type characters that come into play, which is kind of a cool change up. We get some more Faye backstory. We get probably maybe my favorite villain that they encounter. It's close between him and Udai in a few episodes. It's like a really cool, kind of crazy, makes you question the reality of the show a little bit. We do get a pretty big Jet reveal coming up still. Like, there's still a lot of stuff that happens.
Interesting. I'm excited. There's more.
Oh, okay. So there's one episode that I think is like the spiritual predecessor to the movie. It actually takes place in the show around where the movie happens, but it's kind of that idea that's kind of cool. I'm trying to see if there's anything else worth other than like the ending. Yeah, and that will take us to like our last stretch, which is kind of where we get somewhat final answers for the backstories and futures for like Ed and Faye and Spike and Jet. So the last like handful of episodes feels like it's approaching an end, and then I think the 2-part finale is pretty phenomenal.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm invested now. There are episodes that I like more than others, but I'm excited to see where things are going to go for sure.
I'm excited. In one of the episodes, we kind of get hints at the successor to this show that is not a sequel story content wise, but is definitely a sequel creatively.
The same voice. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, same voice actors, same
I just
team
mean
that
like
made it.
creator's voice, or like the same. It's
totally.
like Dan Harmon.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. They're tied whether they take.
We get
place
like the
together or
first like inklings of that show existing, and a pretty fun little bit that comes up in a couple episodes too. So I'm excited. Which, by the way, as much as I love Cowboy Bebop,
you kind of like the other one better.
Well, I'm a Bebop better person, but when somebody says they like Champloo better, which I think you will be in the Champloo camp, personally.
Really?
When we get to it. Yeah, I think you'll like it even more. Because the things you like about Cowboy Bebop, you're going to like even more about Samurai Champloo.
Exciting. All right, well, I think
Exciting
we've done
things
it.
on the horizon.
That's Brokeback Bebop for the week. What's next week's episode called? The Mushroom
Mushroom
episode?
Samba.
Mushroom Samba. That sounds fun.
Super
So
fun.
we'll get into that next week. Thanks for listening. I hope you're doing well out there. Stay safe. Be well.
Take care.
Thanks for listening. Support this show and our podcast network at patreon.com/can'tdisappointpodcast, where starting at $5 a month, you can get immediate access to all 40 outrageous sessions of Brokeback Bebop. See you next time, Space Cowboy.